AITA for wanting to divorce my husband, and everyone in my family is telling me not to? I, 38F, and my husband, 41M, have been together for 12 years and married for 10. We have an 8-year-old daughter, and I want to leave him. The problem is because it's not over anything dramatic, so my family are extremely against it. I'm Korean American, 2nd gen, and my husband is 1st gen, and in Korea men do zero housework. My friends who are immigrants are shocked any man does any housework. I'm raised more in an equal family. My mom and dad are both doctors and both do some of the housework, but my mom definitely does more. I didn't live in a huge city for medical school and residency, so honestly my husband was one of like 10 Koreans man my age there. My ex was white and I loved him, also a medical student at the time, but my parents refused to let me marry him because he wasn't Korean. I really regret it. I married my husband because my parents wanted it and he was close by and the right age. We don't get along. He was raised very traditional and wasn't expected to ever wash a plate. He is by Western standards pretty sexist. But life was okay until he was laid off 2 years ago because he was busy, and so I felt like I had to do all the housework. He was in tech, but worked on something that has been depreciated and had a hard time finding new work. He made 6 figures in his previous role but now struggles to make the same. We could move, but he refuses to ask to be close to his family. His family really doesn't like me as I'm an emergency room doc and have calls, so I sometimes can't be home to tuck my child in. He never did any housework before the layoff. And now he still doesn't, but maybe because I let it go for so long he thinks, because I want him to do it now, is me looking down on him now that he isn't working because he sees it as demeaning him. My MIL was a SOM her whole life and doesn't believe a career and motherhood goes together. However, everyone knows I make most, and now all, of the money, and it makes her hate me because she feels like her son is being emasculated. And he feels like that too, so he puts me down about how I'm a bad mother when I go to shifts that require him to be at home with our daughter. I think he might be suffering from depression, but he and his family don't believe in mental health and has yelled at me for suggesting seeing a therapist. The last straw was last weekend. I came home after a conference, and the house was a mess and my daughter had only eaten McDonald's and frozen pizzas because my husband refused to cook. I bought all the ingredients and it was extremely simple to make a fried rice. I even cooked the rice. Even though I was on for plus 60 hours a week, I do all the cooking, cleaning, and most of the childcare as I picked her up and drop her off from school. I will admit I was against divorce until my friend divorced. She suffered a pretty toxic marriage for 15 years and divorced 2 years ago. She is now so much happier and tells me it's way better than being with her ex. I want to leave, but my family is extremely against it as no one in my family is divorced and it is seen as extremely taboo. They say I will ruin my child if I do, and my parents told me they won't help me do anything if I leave because I'm shaming them. I'm torn, but I can't stand this anymore, and I've told my husband at least 4 times I want a divorce, and he just says he has no idea why I want it even when I spell out in bullet point what he needs to do to make things right. Then he just ignores them and complains I nag when I point out what he's doing wrong. My mom is always telling me I must not be communicating, but I have many times, and I'm just ignored.